Good evening, viewers. This is LTV1, your community television program. Bala I Arif. Also, they will not dina oge I dienaf screwde is misha an laharor enocht. I hope you enjoy our program, and I now hand you over to Pat O'Connell for the sports and news.
Hello and welcome to this week's LTV News and Sports Desk. About 2 weeks ago, if we're going to call, we visited the Macroom Community Sports Centre in the Castle Grounds, and we did a lovely programme there with Carol Lucy, the manager down there, regarding all the new equipment and the new games that were going there. And on this Monday of this week, the Minister for Sports, Arts and Recreation, John O'Donoghue, paid a visit to the sports complex, and we went along with our cameras and we covered this visit.
But I don't think that it would be.
No, you have to put your feet behind it.
Well,
It's okay.
I will give it a.
Okay, they can't see your feet.
I will give it a load, I think. Are we alright?
You're supposed to smile because there's no pain.
There's none, I'm sure.
I'm going to call on Connie, the Lord Mayor of Macroom, to make his speech. Thank you.
Thanks, Christine. Ministers, deputies, fellow councillors, ladies and gentlemen. As Mayor of Macroom, I'm proud to be standing here today at the official opening of Macroom Sports and Leisure Centre. When this was thought up first, and we got notice in the Urban Council over that they wanted a representative on the board of management, I had no hesitation putting my name forward for it. It didn't bother me because I wanted to be involved. It's good for the community, good for all ages, it's healthy, it's good for the kids, it's just good all round, and I was delighted to be involved with it.
John O'Donoghue to make his speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Christine, Minister O'Keefe, Deputy Moynihan, Mayor, councillors, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'm delighted to be here in Macroom this afternoon for the rededication of Macroom Community Leisure Centre, which I understand was first opened in the mid-1980s. I know that many years of very hard work has gone into this particular venture, and it really is a moment to celebrate the contribution which people in the community made. I know that the population in Macroom has seen tremendous growth in recent years, and with this growth, of course, there is a huge demand for high standard facilities such as those offered by Macroom Community Leisure Centre. I know that the facilities here, which are located on the same campus as the Bishop Egan School, accommodate many other sporting groups throughout the community and are open to all members of the public. The multiple use of facilities, incidentally, is something which we very much welcome. This facility would not, of course, be in place, as the Mayor has said, were it not for the extraordinary commitment and total dedication of so many people, particularly those who have devoted themselves to sporting organisations. Every sporting organisation in Ireland relies heavily on the contribution of such generous and wonderful people. And I would like to particularly commend all of the members of the Board of Management who worked tirelessly for the benefit of all young and old alike in harnessing the considerable energy, expertise and commitment of the Cork County Council, the VEC, the Cork County Sports Partnership and sports and community groups. The budget for the Irish Sports Council has been increased by 20% to €49 million. So it's an unprecedented level of funding in the history of Irish sport, and is largely directed at ensuring that opportunities for participation in sport exist for all communities in every part of Ireland. The programme, I understand that the total cost of your project is for €176,276, and that it is proposed to develop 2 artificial playing pitches, floodlighting for the pitches, and fencing for these pitches.
Thank you, Minister. I now call on Barry O'Brien, CEO of the VC, to say a few words.
Start, Mayor, Monsignor, is Gwini Ushle, Golair, the Sac, Testimara, Gwil Anna Sorum, Ave and so, Madnenuv, Agus is Untuch, on áis atá le feiscint don ara anuv. I'd like to commend and to praise everybody that has been involved. Everybody has been mentioned, so I won't repeat it. I would like to mention Michael Crowley, who's the former coordinator of the Cork County Sports Partnership Minister, who's now with the Irish Sports Council, and to thank Michael for his involvement in it at the very beginning and the kind of structures that were set down in association with Martin Hallahan from the County Cork VEC office as well. I'd also like to commend Minister, and I've no doubt but that the discussions you will be having in the not too distant future for the advancement of this project, that those discussions will prove very positive and fruitful at the end of the day, and that you will give it a very positive hearing, because you have seen it was necessary to close the hall at one juncture to make sure that it could recommence in a proper manner with good management structures set down, and it was necessary to close the hall at one juncture to make sure that it could recommence in a proper manner with good management structures set down, and that was the principal focus. It has now arrived with particular partnership investment, and any help that you can give it through your department in the context of this phase and the next phase of it would certainly be very, very great. We'd be very grateful for all of that, Minister, and I've no doubt that you'll consider it. So, Leshin, and to the members of the press that have come along today to record this rededication ceremony. And I think going back in time when the hall was initially founded, I think Donald Creed was the Minister for State at that particular time, and he'd be very happy as well in the context of how the hall has continued to develop and to improve from the time he initiated it away back in the mid-1980s. So Leshin, gona míle mágah agus gonairi an tá le gach rá agus gach rá dé an obair a bheith siúil istigh san Macroom Leisure Centre. Gona míle mágah.
Thank you. Now, finally, I call on Monsignor O'Donoghue to give Donovan to bless the facility. Thank you.
The Lord created the universe and filled it with delights for us, the people of God. We are called to join in the task of creation by building up the kingdom. This place which we dedicate today will help us to do that by restoring us in body and in mind, by drawing us together in community, and by instilling in our people qualities of courage, cooperation, and cordiality. The response is, as you are aware, Lord, hear us. Lord, graciously hear us. Blessed are you, Lord, our God, who fills with joy the years of our youth. Give our young people health and strength. Lord, hear us. Blessed are you, Lord, our God, who delights in the company of humankind. Show us how to relate with each other in true solidarity. Lord, hear us. Blessed are you, Lord, our God, who endowed the human body with beauty and skill. Urge us through the Spirit to put our energy to the service of others. Lord, hear us. Blessed are you, Lord, our God, who encourages us to use our talents. Fill with your grace and integrity our leisure and our play. Lord, hear us. Blessed are you, Lord, our God, who will dance with us on the day of the Lord. Be with us in our sport and recreation. Lord, hear us. Lord, we sing your praises without ceasing. You rule over all things with wonderful order. You temper the cares and burdens of our toil, and by giving us rest and healthy recreation, you refresh our weary bodies and minds. We entreat your kindness that this place and its facilities will contribute to leisure activities that renew the spirit and strengthen mind and body. Grant that all who meet here may find the enrichment of companionship, and together offer you the praise that is your due. We ask this through Christ our Lord. May God, who brings light to our minds and strength to our bodies, guide us in all we do, so that each day we may find gladness and friendship. May Almighty God bless you all, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Now I'd like to just congratulate the students of De La Salle College Macroom, who put on a show recently. It was called the Muppet Christmas Show, which was a story of Scrooge, and this was a very well received production, and we'd like to just congratulate the teachers of involved. It was Tracy Groom and Jean O'Donovan. They did 3 showings. They did one for the parents, one for the national schools, and the other for the students that did they sell themselves. And some of the actors involved in these shows were also involved in the pantomime in the Bury Gap. So it's great to see young talent coming up. And it's great also to see the schools being involved in promoting drama in their schools. Always at Christmas time, the PIN newsletter is sent out to around 150 immigrants around the world. This is put together by the Macroom Immigrant Support Group, and they send out 2 newsletters every year, one at Christmas time and one during the summertime. And the newsletters contain snippets from all different events that happened in the town over the past 12 months. So again, we'd like to pay them tribute for putting this letter together and sending it out to the Macrompins that have left their hometown. And it's a nice little bit of cheer for them to receive this newsletter every Christmas. On the sports front, very few games played last weekend again due to weather conditions. There was actually no soccer matches played on the sports scene last weekend. Very little games played due to bad weather conditions. One game played in the West Cork League. That was in Division 2 League, where Dromree took on Ceylon in a local derby, and the result there was Dromree 2, Ceylon 1. The Macroom Soccer Club Lotto this week, the winning numbers were 3, 9 and 25. There was no winner of the jackpot. The €70 went to Dennis Noonan at Sally Gardens Macroom, and next week's jackpot is at €1,400. The West Cork League fixtures for the Christmas period, and this is on Tuesday the 26th of December in the Division 2 League. Castledown Celtic take on Dromree Dynamos at 11 a.m. In the AIB Shield, Crookstown take on Archival at 11 a.m. And also in the Premier Division Cup, Bunratty take on Leaside. This is a quarter-final at 2:30 p.m. In the McCarthy Sports Shop Bantry Division 1 Cup, Clonakilty Town play Kilmichael Rovers at 11 a.m. And the fixtures for Sunday, December the 31st, and the Premier Division, Leaside take on the Manway Town at 11 a.m. In the Beamish Division 1, Bay Rovers take on Kilmichael Rovers at 11 a.m. and Crookstown take on Courtmac Sherry at 2:30 p.m. And in the Division 2 League, Dunmanway Town take on Dromree Dynamos at 11 a.m. They're the West Cork soccer fixtures for the next 2 weekends. That's all I have for you this week. On behalf of LTV1 here in Macroom, I'd like to wish all our viewers a very happy Christmas and a prosperous New Year. And I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank all those who sent me in items to be covered on the programme, and who also got in contact with me to cover items and cover events that were held during the last couple of months. Yeah. I'd also like to take this opportunity to wish a very happy Christmas to all those involved with LTV2 in Mill Street, and especially to their presenters, Mary Eglinton, Eileen Buckley, Sean Radley and Sean Murphy. We'd also, as I said, thank them for a very, very job well done during the year, and happy Christmas to everybody back in Mill Street as well.
You already saw the draw for the post office fundraising score at the town hall. by the Minister for Agriculture. We now bring you the presentation of the proceeds to charities, and this was held at the Old Triangle.
To call on to say a few words is our treasurer and our local branch manager in Macroom Post Office, Dan O'Hare. And we'll swap.
My job is very easy because I just have to announce the amount of money we made and where it's going. So without further ado, I'll just get to the amount of money we have to give out, which is €12,500. Now, we have €3,000 going to Macroom senior citizens. We have another 3,000 to be divided between Macroom Hospitals and St. Coleman's Hospital. And we have 3,000 for Cope Foundation, and we have another 3,000 for Marymount Hospice. But we have another charity that we didn't really know was on its own, and that is Coonav, doing great work for the local community here in Macroom. So we decided that we'd give them 500 extra onto our total. Now it's €12,500 we're actually giving out altogether. That's great achievement. So I better keep my speech short as well. I'd just like to thank everybody that was involved in the collecting of the money. And as well as that, I'd like to say that we had an enormous entry for the children's colouring competition. We had 1,400 entries, and they were of the highest quality. And I leave the rest of that to Joey now to be talking about. I don't think I have any more to say, but thank you very much indeed.
As Dan said, or Paddy even said earlier on, it was the men on my left here who came up with the bright idea. We were blaming Paddy Callan for winning the All-Ireland, but it was Jory really pushed this, and he put an enormous amount of work into it. So I now hand you over to the secretary of the committee, Jory Murphy.
Thank you, Paul. There was a phone call about 8:30 tonight. Paddy Callahan, our chairman. Come here, must I say a few words tonight? You see? And what am I supposed to say? And look, Paddy says, I have to get you into this mess, I'll get you out of it. So, no, there's a lot of things to be said. Mostly thank yous. First of all, I'd like to start off congratulating Paddy and give us the opportunity to raise the money. Now, secondly, I'd like to thank An Post for coming on board as the main sponsor and give us their full support. Now, as you probably heard from the first night when the charity was launched, how it all started. Paddy was behind in throwing the Gaeltacht's final behind Ballyvourna, and Noel Reardon and myself said we'd go back. The first salute we got back in the row, behind the road from Paddy, the two magpies are coming, you see. So he went on, and when he won, so we were behind Debbie that night, and the crack was only mighty. So Paddy, look, he says, if I win the county now, we must go and do something for charity. So.
Thanks, Joey. Now we know we're ready next year. Thanks, Joey. I'd just like to call on Monsignor O'Donnell to say a few words now as well, please.
Billy has left hardly anything to be said, but I would like to congratulate again the people who were responsible for this in the first place, because it was a kindly thought and a very generous thought to get together and raise money for the local charities. And I think there's a great group of people who got together, the representatives of An Post, but of course they were on a winner from the beginning. I'm delighted to be associated with it in a very small way. I found myself on television with two greats outside in Keelnamartyr there a couple of Sundays ago, Paddy, or a couple of Saturdays ago, Paddy and Bishop Buckley. You know, I was asked a very, very difficult question, and mind you, and I had to answer it on the spot. And I hope that Paddy forgives me. I was asked which of them was I going to favour in this so-called competition that was going to take place, do you know? And I came down in favour of Bishop Buckley, really, because I had known him longer than I've known Paddy. You say, but Paddy, I'm sorry about that. Yes, very good. But, yeah. But in fact, of course, I was on a loser on that particular case because there was no contest really. When it came to it, Paddy was going to overthrow Bishop Buckley that afternoon anyway. Bishop Buckley pretended that he eased off because of the fact that he was against an All-Ireland winner. But I'd say that even if he did his best, he'd hardly have beaten Paddy that afternoon. Well done to everybody concerned anyway. It was great. There was great generosity of spirit in the project from the beginning, and I think you elicited the best in generosity from all the people who have cooperated in the project. And thanks be to God to have such a happy conclusion to it here this evening. Well done, everybody.
Now, as you all know, we had a draw as well. Unfortunately, I didn't win it. A lovely trip to Disneyland in Paris, and the winner was Shauna Lynch from Killamatra. Paddy fixed that, of course, being the postman back there. But I'd like to. I don't think she's here, is she?
She is.
No, but Shauna's not here. No. Mommy's here, so we'll ask Mommy to come up and collect the prize. Make sure you get it right, or no? So that was the first prize in the charity draw. And we were all off to Disneyland to see Mickey Mouse and Minnie and the rest of them. Now, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to give the presentation of cheques. The reason we're really here, to the local charities. So, the first one we call in is Better Delvin, please, from Co Foundation, please. Sorry, Macomb Hospital in St. Cornwall's house.
So, Sunday morning, then my score was 6 or 12 o'clock. It was a bit early for me because I like an afternoon or an evening score. So, got up and did our show and went to Mass and said a few prayers, and you don't know how much more in Mass and All Ireland face you. So, and after our score, and the road was black. There was 5,000 people in All Ireland final. It was the biggest crowd I ever witnessed at a score in here that I was trying myself. So everything just went off like a tea. I even brought the record on the final by 2 shots. So I went home and I said there were Donald Newsies and Gerd and Donald Coney, which I was like, oh, he said the last 4 balls probably covered a mile of road, so you couldn't do any better than that.
No, Paddy, it was nice talking to you, and there's the whole story of Paddy Kellen's venture into the All Ireland Junior Bowling Championship, and thanks for talking to us, Paddy.
Good to meet you, Margaret.
John Reardon from this place is with me, and John is going to sing a song for Paddy Callan. This Callan does it for me. Is that right, John?
How for Callan and I were pals since our boyhood days of yore. Together we both listed in the same militia corps. He swore he'd guard me from the foe and let all quarrels ring. But whilst inside a canteen we wouldn't have anything to drink. I called for a pint of the old and brown. Callahan comes and he mops it down, and whilst he's drinking me pint in a house belong to Tim, oh, here am I as large as life, and I doing the same for him. All together now, lads. For Callahan does it for me, oh, Callahan does it for me, in a house belong to Tim, oh, here am I as large as life, and I doing the same for him. Now we both work in a tailor shop. We're measurers by trade, and I work in the apartment where the gents' clothes are all made. But Callahan, where the ladies go for bloomers now and then, each morning I say to him, I don't like measuring men. Oh, measuring men for suits and halves, over their tubs and round their calves. And whilst he measures for me the length and breadth of my limb, oh, here am I in the lady's shop, and I doing the same for him. For Callahan does it for me, oh, Callahan does it for me, and a house belong to Tim. Oh, here am I as large as life, and I doing the same for him. Oh, I've been working hard all day, I go home on my life. Sometimes I absolutely feel too tired to kiss my wife, but Callahan does it for me. Callahan does it for me. There he goes with his flippity flip, and he loves it all over the old girl's lips. And whilst he's kissing me wife in a house belong to Tim, oh, here am I with his old doll, and I doing the same for him. For Callahan does it for me, oh, Callahan does it for me, in a house belong to Tim. Oh, here am I with his old doll, and I doing the same for him.
At the Lana Bar, Balnagree recently, Peggy Lynch launched a new CD. This CD is available in more shops in the area. The film is brought by John O'Sullivan, and Peggy is accompanied by Jerome Coakley.
Tonight for the second launch of Peggy's CD. 3 years ago we were here before launching the first CD, and she's back again tonight, herself, Peggy and Jerome, launching the second CD. Now we'd like to call in Mary Sweeney and the Lord Mayor, the Mayor of Balnagree, to say a few words.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great pleasure to congratulate Jerome and Peggy here tonight on the launch of their second tape. I know Peggy and myself go back a long ways. I think we were around the same time. We went to school together, but I think I went to nuns and she went elsewhere. That's where I went wrong. Because I don't think I followed in her footsteps being mayor, but I don't think I will be launching any tapes. Congratulations, Peggy. And with that, I'll hand you over to the woman herself.
Thank you, Mary. We cycled to school together. Yeah, we had a bike just. Now, I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. It's a pleasure to see so many people, and especially our visitors from West Cork. You're more than welcome. And there's down the very bottom there, they're from Cork City, but they're natives, and you're more than welcome here. It's lovely to see you. Now, we have a few guests that will do their party pieces in a minute. Father Morgan from Killamatra, and Dermot Cronin, and we have Dick Beamish, who will do a few steps in a minute when we'll make a bit of space. Now, I would like to start thanking now. Only for Jerome, I wouldn't be here. I really do appreciate everything he's done, and I thank you very much, Jerome. And Leo Fitzgerald, Leo couldn't be here tonight because he's playing with Penny O'Brien in the Galtymore in Crittlewood. And now, the Mullinahona Studios, where we practice. Jackie and Mary were fantastic to us the last time and this time again, with refreshment, with tea and sandwiches and refreshments, let's say. Now, we had a great time practicing, And on the morning that we wanted to take the photographs for the cover of our CD, we had Dave Martin with a very professional camera, and Jackie and his son John, got up very early in the morning, about 7 o'clock, and went to wherever the horse was being kept and watched the horse the way he'd look well in the photograph. And that's why that horse is a beautiful goldy fawn colour. Now I would like to thank Teresa now especially for anything you ask Teresa to do, apart from the CD. When I want to go to England, which I will next weekend, she'll get the tickets on the internet. Anything I ask her to do, she'll do, and I'm very grateful, Teresa. Now I would also, as a photographer, I thank you, and Dave Martin isn't here, but I also thank him. Now somebody else as well is Mark Burgoyne. Now Mark Burgoyne, he did some making, what you call them, posters for me, and he always does. And he again, I ask him, I like to thank you, Mark. I don't know whether he's here or not, but I'm sure Julie is. Now Mary Sweeney, I would like to they just told me there now that Mary Sweeney is sponsoring the band Peter Lane, and I would like to thank her very, very much for her generosity to all organisations as well as me tonight. She's very, very good. Now I wonder, have I forgotten anyone? Now I'd like to call on Tim Coughlin now to launch our CD, and then we'll talk again after that.
Steve Galere, it's great to see an absolutely fantastic crowd here at the Lorna Bar. Somebody said to me a little earlier, if there was two snails racing up the floor in the Lorna Bar, there'd be a crowd in to see it. Well, we've no snails tonight, unfortunately. It's absolutely fantastic to be here again. I can't believe it was 3 years ago that the Around the Fireside album came out. I thought it was only a couple of weeks ago. And it's got lashings of airplay over the past couple of years on Course 103 FM. And there's no doubt that the new album, Wandering Around Mushra, will be played over and over and over again. I'll probably be getting on to Peggy in a couple of months' time, asking her to send me on a fresh copy, because the one I have in my pocket will be worn out. But can you see that on camera? It's called Wandering Through Mushra, the new album from Peggy and Jerome, and it's got 12 tracks in total on it. There's copies on sale somewhere here, just here and down at the bottom of the bar as well. Don't anybody dare leave the premises tonight without a copy of this. As you were told, it's just going to cost you €10 tonight. If you want to get it autographed by Peggy and by Jerome, just think in 560 years' time, when your great-grandchildren are looking at this and saying, what in the name of God is that? They'll find Peggy and Jerome's autograph on the album, and it'll be worth millions. Millions! I will now officially launch the brand new album from Peggy and from Jerome, Wandering Through Mushra. I hope you all enjoy it. As I said, we have a couple of bodyguards down at the door, and anybody leaving without a copy will not be left out. To say, just to wish Peggy and Jerome the very best of luck with the album. I hope you sell thousands and thousands of copies of same. Is it going to be available in the shops in the next couple of days? They're in Macroom at the moment. Why am I here launching it so? Liar, they're in Macroom at the moment. They'll be in Macroom in the morning, right? Well, that's only a couple of minutes' time. The morning is only around the corner. Anyway, the best of luck to you both with it. As I say, I hope you make a small fortune out of it. I'm sure you do. And any profits that are made after Peggy pays my bill for tonight and the couple of bob they spent on making it, some of the money will be going to charity. I must say well done to Leo Fitzgerald as well, Mick and Leo, great friends of mine, and great friends of Peggy and Jerome of course as well. They've done a masterful job on producing the album. Unfortunately, he's in Cricklewood, you tell us, Leo, playing with Paddy O'Brien. By God, he gets around the place. Anyway, enjoy the remainder of the night, and good luck once again to you both. Thanks to the Mayor of Ballinagreef for inviting me along here tonight as well, and to Peggy and Jerome. What are you winking at me for? She winking at me there, I think I better leave. Nearly time I left, I'm sure. I'm sure somebody else has a few words to say. Right, Peggy has. Thank you. Peter Lane as well, ladies and gentlemen. The great Peter Lane here supplying the music for the night.
You know, I think I forgot to thank Peter Lane a while ago. Thank you, Peter. Now, I would like to present Mary and Teresa with a bunch of flowers each for all you've done. It's a small token from German and myself. So come on up and get them.
Peggy, do the other one now.
Anne Dunn, the genial manager of the Brary Gap, will now tell us what is on at the Brary Gap over the Christmas season.
Hello again, and here are the listings of Brary Gap over the Christmas period. And Tuesday the 27th, Wednesday the 28th, Thursday the 29th, Friday the 30th, Monday the 1st, and Tuesday the 2nd of January at 8:30 p.m. the James Bond movie Casino Royale. And there are still some tickets available for the 5th of January 2007 with Brendan Boyer and his show band in concert. At this point in time, I'd like to thank everybody that was involved in our recent pantomime, the children, the parents, and all those that took part on and off stage. I'd like to apologise to those that failed to get tickets and thank all those that supported us by way of raffle or being part of the audience on our very successful run. I'd like to draw your attention as well to our backdrop, which was painted by Keely Buckley, and we thank Keely for that. So from us here, we'd like to wish you a very happy Christmas, and we will talk to you again on Christmas Day.
From the archives, we now bring you an old-time threshing and harvesting, including the reaper and binder and other equipment of the day. A lot of you will not like to be reminded of this. It was very hard work, and it has now passed into the archives. It was held at the farm of James Kelleher in 1984. The machinery was supplied by Neely Coakley, who was assisted by his brother Jerry.
Well, Neely, first of all, welcome to Dromree with the Reaper and Binder today, and I'll start by asking you if you could give us a little history about the binder.
Well, I haven't had only with about 3 years. I bought it back in Dunmanway, actually. There was an old one at home, but it was a bit spun out, so I bought this one back in Dunmanway for £50.
I think you got a bargain there, all right, Eddie. It's looking in perfect mechanical order.
Well, it was in good order, all right. It was bought shortly after the war, and it never did a whole lot.
Oh, yeah. Is it a McCormick?
It is a McCormick. It's one of the modern McCormicks. In fact, the old McCormicks now, they had a left-hand cut, but as you notice, this one is, the knife is on the right-hand side of this one.
Oh, yes, yeah. So that's it. Right, I suppose we'll get on with the work, so I suppose, and we'll look forward to seeing it in action. Right. coming back here today now to the land of Jamie Keller and Dromree. This is the field here that we carried out the reaping and binding 2 weeks ago, and here today we have the tractor and the old Fortune tractor and the man of the moment, Neely Coakley, the owner of the tractor and the tractor. Well, Neely, you were here last year, a final day this year?
That's right, but well, we have to take the weather as it comes, I suppose.
That's a different tractor you have today than you had for the reaping binding. It's an old Fortune, is that right?
That's right.
Is that, what fuel is that running?
Oh, that's running TVO. She started in petrol and she's running TVO.
And what age is that tractor?
She's 1936 it was made.
And, yeah. The tractor here behind us is a ransom tractor. That's an English model, I presume. It looks very... Ipswich.
Yeah.
It's a very small tractor. There was bigger, I presume.
Well, it is very small, all right. It's 27 inch drum. It was made especially for small places.
What kind of tractors now do they have long ago? Is it the same, similar to this one, or is it a bigger model?
No, they had them bigger long ago. They had, when they were tracking with the steam engine, they were usually 48 inch drum or a 54 inch drum. But then they made them 42 inch drums in for when the tractor came along, and 36.
Now, for people that don't know much about tracking, could you explain to us here behind us the procedure here?
Well, you have a man first pointing from the reach up on the tractor, and then you have a man above cutting shaves. Of course, if you had a big tractor, you would have 2 cutting shaves and a couple of piping, and then you have a man feeding it above. And the oats then is separated from the straw, and as you see, the straw comes out here, and the chaff then comes out underneath it, and you have the oats then coming out at the end.
Located 3 old timers over here. Nearly thinking now that he's got this. The oldest singers in town here. I'm sure he can remember many of the old tracks.
Oh, sure, yeah. We had too much of them. That's right, yeah.
Can anyone remember the old horse tracings? Yeah. Can you remember the old horse?
The size of any one of them, to be honest with you.
A lot of hard work, I suppose.
We had that, right?
Can you remember?
A lot of porters bringing them now.
A lot of porters.
That was a good car.
Can you remember any of the biggest tractions around here?
The horse tractors? I know, I don't. I don't know, they're all dead and gone for this.
There's a little grain growing around here now, and it's really farming.
There's not much at all. This is the only grain I see. I see around here, no woods anyway.
Another man here, a neighbour again, Jan Murphy. Can you remember the tracking Janet was going back along?
I do, it's a number of years back, alright. I don't remember the horse tracking at all, like, but
I mean, the hard work, but I remember the sessions back a long ways, all right. Pretty hard work. Plenty of force and everything like that. Over here to Mrs. Murphy to get him with joy here. Mrs. Murphy, what do you think of all this here today?
Well, I think it's fantastic to have the old time ways back again. And I said we prayer it last today that the day would hold fine. Thank God it did.
I heard the men over there complaining about the hard work long ago. I guess it's hard work for the women too, preparing the meals and everything for all the men.
Well, it's what this happened. It was delightful once the business was going and when everything was organised. It was a great day for the women too.
I was in great night too with all these fashion parties and plenty dancing and everything.
Well, that was a wee bit before my time out now. Patrick and Peter called me. I was just at one that was my brother's house. And I think yesterday was another one at Canbuckley's Mushra. And that was the last one that I was at.
And how long ago was that now?
That's about 25 years ago.
Well, I didn't even think what I age. Well, here's the man of the moment, Jamie Keller. How do you feel about arranging this big occasion here today?
Well, I think it's very good to bring back the old threshing anyway to this area. And I'm quite happy about it, seeing that the weather is fine.
I see a few aldermen here behind us having a good laugh and crack about reminiscing all days.
I'd say that, that's it, I'd say, and remembering all the tracks I used to be over masking pikes and things along road threshing. Every fella brought his own pike and put a mask in it.
Everyone have a bit of a threshing party, no?
I don't know. That's the man at the moment over there. I'd say his show is not fully organised as yet, but he might get around to it before the day is out.
I'm going to come over here now to two pretty young ladies. What part of the country from her?
In Skara.
In Skara?
Yeah.
And did you ever see an all-time threshing before?
Yes, I did.
Was it the real threshing or was it just an exhibition?
No, it was the real threshing.
Real threshing?
Yeah.
To follow the road, she was been out and home from Korea, is that right, Father?
That's right, home from Korea.
This must be a great sight. You probably remember these before you went away.
I remember them years ago, but I haven't seen this in about, I suppose, 30 years or more. I haven't seen the threshing.
How long are you in Korea, Father?
24 years this year.
And you still have a Cork accent?
I probably hadn't a Cork accent coming back, but I'm around a while now and I picked it up again. Been around a couple of months already, and I'd probably be around until Christmas.
I suppose you know all of the faces around here, do you?
Oh, I know them all. Some I find it hard to put a name on, but I know all the faces anyway, and I know that most of their names too.
Thank you, Father. Only an old man that's making the straw here.
Yes.
Yes,
well,
it reminds me of old times anyway.
That's right, sir.
That was one of my jobs one time. You're a good man at making the straw, so.
I won't say that, but it was a job I always got anyway.
And I believe long ago you used to have a lot of trouble over pikes. You see a lot of men walking.
Right.
What did you do then?
We always knocked out pikes. See, here. And here. High saw cuts. And you would have no pike by hole already, and you like having that. That was the old...
That must be fairly old hay pikes, George, is that right?
Must be, that's right. Must be 30 years old.
Can you remember the threshings around this area long ago?
Kind of four. So, it isn't long ago at all. We were talking about it last night. I was around 20 years ago, maybe roughly, not much more.
And
we had 5 threshings that year, different places, and we had 40 of these threshings. That'll tell all the people are gone since. You know?
And who would have the biggest threshing around here? I suppose the Cochrane family, I suppose, would that be the biggest?
Well, at that time, well, I don't like to be talking here and this, but at that time we used to be telecom too. We thrashed with my in the steam engine, even years.
And how long would these sessions go on? So could they last a couple of days?
Well, a good day's work could thrash a lot. You know, a good day's work could thrash about, there are 20 good days of the car and a good day's work.
And of course they'd have a different reach to these here, they'd be much higher and rounder.
They'd be a reach into this field here.
4 or 5 weeks or 6 maybe? Well, one big week, we'll say. One big week to take it off. That'd be about 8 up in the start, I think. Thank you, George. What are your names, girls?
Kathleen Looney. Eileen Bradley. Lauren Looney. Eileen Looney.
Have you ever attacked him before?
Well, we saw it a long time ago.
Long time ago?
Yes.
How long ago was that?
I don't know.
And what do you think of it?
She's nice.
Are you having good fun?
Yes.
That's the stuff. Here in front of me, Mrs. Nora Buddens. I'm sure, Nora, you can remember plenty of the old threshings and all the crack in the queue. A mighty dancer like herself.
They were great days altogether. So they were very enjoyable. Great old crack, 20 porters.
I do some big porter, surely.
Well, all barrels of stout and everything. All kegs.
And what about the dancing?
Great night dancing in the houses afterwards. And a lot of the houses. All set. Band dancers. So on.
How long is this going for? All night?
Yes, some houses. 6 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Great big song. That was a great time.
And you'll be talking about the young people nowadays out all night and the now they're all coming out and watch, isn't it?
They have more comfort nowadays.
I suppose it was hard on the women that time to all the baking and getting ready for the stations.
Yeah.
How many men would be at the stations for to be fed in all this crack?
At the Threshing, there'll be 30 or 40. And there'll be all the neighbours around will be there. All the women.
So this is a big social gathering, so...
Yeah, out in the stone all together. The city all died out.
Thank you, Nora. Here we man that's used to handling modern machinery, Shawnee Keller. I'm sure, Sean, you were more acquainted with the combine than with the tractor. Yours is a big change, alright. About the 14-foot combine. Would you think the combine is a better job? I should like to see the old Threshing again. We should always be looking forward to long ago. We were going to school to hear the sound of the tractor. Didn't have to crack fall in the combine, no porter or nothing. We wouldn't see no one in the field from all tonight. The Threshing, there'll be always a good crowd around. Thank you, Shannon. John? That's Emo. And this is Roseanne. And this is Sarah, isn't it? Yeah. That's Matthew. That's George. Hello. That's right. Are you having a great time? Are you having a great time here? Oh, that's a great time afterwards. Right. And now here we have the ladies of the town end, and they all scattering all corners. There's Mary Neville here, Mary Keane, Carmen Lyon and Mrs. Neville. Are you all enjoying the day? Oh yes we are. What about Sky? I got the camera shy anyway. Hard at work here. Could we just stop it there for a second, Mickey? Huh? Could we just stop it there for a second? Now, here we have Mickey Bradley in Dromree, a man fairly familiar with Tinty Threshing. Is that right? Yes? Worked with them in my younger days. Is there much rain there today in a week? I'd say there'll be about 1.5 tons of good rain. Would that be good now for the amount of acres that Jamie set over? It would, I'd say, be just about average or above average. Can you recall any of the big threshings around here? You were telling me the other day about the big threshing that was up here and... Oh God, yes, and there's a man here behind my back, Sean Sullivan, who worked for 3 days back at Corcoran's here in Kilvoutra, and there was 2 and 3 days in Mount Massey, and Casey's Hanover Hall a couple of days, Calehurst Valley Ryan a couple of days, and there are many others now. I might be leaving out some, but they're just the ones that come to mind. And how long into the year do the sessions go on? Well, here locally, I said they only went on about the end of October, but the threshing men, there was many year round. You had John Murphy, who was threshing for many years, Kev Potter, he's here somewhere today. Also had an engine, and when they were finished here locally, they'd move on to, I think Murphy was going to Waterford, Kev Potter was going to Limerick, North Cork and Limerick, and he often told me they'd be threshing out till January, and sometimes maybe February, but that's a good few years back now. And was the threshing hard work, Mickey? Yes, it was hard work, but it was also good fun. I think there was plenty of help in them days, and you were kept going, of course, all the time, but it was also good fun. Thanks very much, Mike. This time we have Mrs. Keller back here. Now here we see the tractor in full flight, and 2 men here in front selecting the straw as it comes out the shakers. The men up on top of the thresher are standing inside in what is known as the feeding box, and one man is cutting the twine off the sheaves and one man feed it in. In days gone by, this was a very specialised job, and only you had a very good man there, because you could have 4 or 5 men throwing feeds at small angles, and you had to be fairly fast, and then you had to mind your hands, as there's a shaft with a lot of blades just at your fingertips. Here in front we have two men who've obviously been at Threshing before, and show us how it's done in days gone by. And one experienced man and one not throwing up on the rake to take his turn. Here we have a two men from the Heenes side, is it? Yeah, from Dromree. From Dromree. Are you enjoying yourself? We are great out here. Is the portal good too? Yes, jumping. Very good. I want you to remember simply good days that the Threshing's on go, can you? I can. Fine. You know, 30 or 40 years ago, it was all Threshing set Threshing, sure. And, well, obviously it's a lot bigger than this one. A lot faster going. Oh, the pace is nice and handy here today, isn't it? It's be faster. Alright, of course, naturally not. I'm only killing time now today. Alright, thank you, Doug. Now, here we have a very interesting operation in progress. Men here and they're making sugar-on ropes. These will be used when the straw rake is made to tie down the rake. There's one man there on the staff side having a bit of bother anyway. That rope wouldn't do any tug of war. Here I've seen they're turning the straw with a piece of the stickers, Tony Shea and Jim Healy, two Clandra Hoodmen. And there in the corner under the rake is Mrs. Keller herself, the landowner, being ably assisted. And from the way she's pulling that straw, she's no stranger to this operation. Jen Sayers is the man there that's helping her out. You can be at the old hand for doing the job right.
That's my first time in here.
Oh, man well experienced here.
That's my first time in here. We're looking with me and he's in the olden days they were in there.
Are you talking about the olden days, sir?
There's something across the hand that's before, like before that we was in the twine for the job.
So it is the same way we make it with hay, very same as hay. And is it hard in the hands?
Well, if what a good time to make, I suppose it is, but if you've got nice stuff to do then keep it straightened out, it's easy enough, like. But it's just to keep feeding even, like, you know, otherwise you'd have the high spotting someone more, you know, to start the attacking the weak spot, you know, to just keep feeding away into it.
Thank you, Johnny. Now here we have a man here, Kevin Cotter, a man that's no stranger at all to Threshing and who in fact thrashed all over the country. Is that right, Kevin?
Yes, yeah.
What parts of the country do you go to Threshing?
Mostly Dromree, all the Macroom area, and afterwards Newmarket, after Kilcorny, Newmarket down into Bradford, and that'll be up into County Limerick nearly.
Yeah, into County Limerick.
And that that would go on for into a big part of the year, is that right? With the pioneers it wouldn't, but it wouldn't have that harvest to go on until the spring of the following year nearly. And what kind of tractor did you? Was it a ransom the same as this one here? The 36 inch Garvey? Yeah, that will be bigger tractor than the one here, 6 inches wider. And what kind of a tractor had you worked it in? Enough, first and major. It was one of the first majors that came out after the war. TVO. Yeah. And had you many men working with you then from the locality here? You would have only one man with you? Only one man? Only one man, that's when it was threshing. Just one of the haggard sister, why did it mean? Now we have another man here from a different part of the country completely. A man well known to myself. And then a man in North Spain just after threshing down around the West Cork area. That's right, yeah. I've been at it for about 27 years. I had 2 threshers in my lifetime, bought ransoms, and I sold them when the corn went out in our locality. Sold them very cheaply at that. Couldn't buy them back for any money at the moment. One of them at least. And you was passed all over West Cork with there be a lot of grain down that country that time. It was all grain. 3 months, 11 weeks, 3 months that time. Early in the time, back in the 40s, we did 3 months or more. Well, down to about 9 weeks, then 2 years after, and down to month, 5 weeks for the finish. And what kind of tractor did you? Was it ransoms the same as this one? Yeah, bigger ransoms, larger, 42 ransoms. And what about the tractor then? Oh, I had a Fortune, 45 Fortune tractor for 5 or 6 years I did. And then the big Ford, the big major, later on. And was it hard work that time? Oh, it was hard work. You get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, you'll be attached around 8:30. From that to, you could say 10, maybe 12 in the night. We'd come home around 1 or 2 o'clock mostly every night. And what about the times then you would travel out down around the Connecticut here, Rosscarbery areas and out that country? Well, it would be later in the year. We wouldn't start so early and it would be dark anyway after that before we'd have finished. And would you be kept in the farmers' houses in that you were attached in? Well, you'd pick out a house maybe that they'd know you well, or that you'd know them, and you'd stay there during the term, and you'd be out when you'd be outside like. And what then maybe in the farmer's house that you'd be in, if they knew you very well, or if you knew them, you'd stay, otherwise you'd go to this said house, we'll say, that you'd have picked out. There'd be some friends always, all the time. And what about the patch machines? Do you find them better than the combines, or has the patch any advantage over the combine? Oh, they have, of course. They are different grain altogether, of course. You get a not good combine too, you know, that would be as good as them maybe. You get the yard thrasher too, that wouldn't be that very good. That very clean. You would have to be a good machineman to keep it in good trim all the time, you know. Keep everything right. That's fine. Thank you very much.
know, yeah. I know, keep it rolling.
I now hand you over to my colleague Brendan O'Brien, who will give you an idea of the programme for Christmas Day, starting at 3:30 and continuing until 1 a.m.
Gomila Mahagut Tony. Christmas Day now is a day that will be jammed, packed full of programs from LTV. The transmission will start at 3:30 with a reflection on Christmas by Sister Peter from the Mercy Convent in Macroom. That will be followed by Midnight Mass. That's a recording of the Midnight Mass on Christmas night at St. Coleman's Church in Macroom. After that then we lighten up the evening with Santa, who comes to Codrum in Macroom, to the home of Donal and Peggy O'Callaghan. Donal and Peggy's house is festooned with Christmas lighting at the moment. Well worth a visit up there, and especially to take along the children to see the great Christmas lights. There is a donation box, and all donations will be given to the senior citizens in Macroom. At 5 o'clock, at 5:10, that's 5:10, the pantomime of 2005 will be transmitted. This took place, of course, in the Briery Gap last year, and that's Little Red Riding Hood. 7:30 then, after the pantomime, we hand over to the Mill Street local television group, and the Macroom side will be back again at 9:30. So 9:30 there will be carols and the Christmas pageant from Ballyvourney, and also the Macroom Senior Citizens Party. 10:30 LTV2, again the Mill Street side, will take over, but at 11 o'clock the 1984 Christmas time at Sean Vaughan's in Raineree will be retransmitted. This will be presented by Father Stritch. That's from 1984. And the evening will go on then with that event until 1 o'clock in the morning when we close down. We look forward to having you with us on Christmas Day. Slán Tamil.
Well, that's our program for tonight. Thanks for watching. Good night and good luck. Ihua.